Alrighty, so we want to talk about cable trays. So these are the things that you run mostly in the ceiling for either power cables, data cables, or all kinds of stuff. You can put a lot of stuff in cable trays. Sometimes they can be suspended in interstitial space. You can also put them on the floor. You can put them on the roof. You can put them inside or outside. It's very practical. So we're going to have to model these in Revit because it's something that people have to avoid. Like, you don't want to run a cable tray through ductwork. You also want to make sure you have clearances above a cable tray so that people can put the stuff into it. And you also need to make sure that you have room to put the cover on if it's like running under an exterior ductwork. Okay, so to model cable tray, you want to go up here to Systems, and over here under Electrical, there's Cable Tray. You click on that. Then you want to select the family type that you want. So there's all kinds. There's channel, ladder, solid bottom, trough, and wire mesh. Depends on what you want to spec. I typically use ladder cable. So we'll click ladder cable. And then before I even start laying anything, I want to make sure that the fittings are all defined in here. So go hit edit type, and you can see here under fittings that some of them are imported, some of them are not defined or imported. Hopefully they are. Horizontal bend, so I want to make sure that I have the fittings for this ladder horizontal bend. So we'll click that. The T is that, and cross section 12-inch radius. The bend radius multiplier, you can actually have like bigger, longer sweeping bends. If you want to have a lot of cables, I generally like to have bigger bends. If it's just a couple cables, then the bend radius is fine. A good example is if you have like medium voltage cables running into like a switchgear or something, the cables can be quite large. So I generally want to do like, we'll have like a 36-inch cable tray, and then I'll do like a multiplier of 2. So the bend radius is like 6 feet to go around a bend. But here, I'm just going to leave it at 1. So hit OK. And there's a couple parameters you want to define before you lay your first one out. So the first one is define your width. Pick the 12 inches, my standard, and I usually go with 4 inches high. Then the middle elevation is where the center of the cable tray is. So generally I like to put that at about like 6 inches. 6 inches from ceiling to bottom of cable tray. So plus half of the height. So I would be 9'8" then, if I wanted to do 9'6" to the bottom. So 9'8", and then check my work sets. Okay, so this project doesn't have any work sets because this is a demo, but I generally put my cable trays on its own work set, or you know, it's just nice to use that if you can. So click on one point, go to the next, and if you need to bend, you can see that it just continues for you. So you can do a 90-degree bend, or you can even do like a 45. So they just click here and back to another 45. So you can see that these fittings are just kind of auto routed for you. Where a lot of people run into problems is if you try to pick up after you created that first run. So let's say you close out of this, you hit cable tray again, and for some reason your middle elevation is like, I don't know, 15 feet or something, and you want to like connect this right angle. So if you were to go here and try to connect here, you can see that it makes all kinds of strange bends from one point to another. Unless that's your intention, I generally don't want to do it that way. So let's undo, and you can do cable tray. And if you want to continue at the same elevation, click on inherit elevation and inherit size. So that just makes it super easy. So you start here and then you just add another bend to it. You can go further, like, I guess, here I'm running into the wall. But anyways, you can continue to add T's and bends to it if it's on the same elevation. If you try to go like across, up, and then over again, it's nicer to kind of make that bend in a section view, just so that it's easier to see if your ramp is at a good angle. So for example, let's do this. We're going to get rid of the end here, make this a little longer, open up this section, and okay, so we're down here. Let's say I want to bring that up to the top, and then cable tray. Let's do another one, I don't know, out here at this height. So what's this one here? We're at bottom elevation. Let's just make that 9 feet. There we go. And then you can specify how you want that to connect. You can do like a point to point, but then it's some arbitrary angle. It doesn't look very nice. So we can do here, bring it up to about 45. You can see that it auto snaps to both levels, and if you hold the angle at 45, that's where it'll create the fittings. So from there to here, no auto route was found, probably because my on plan it's not lined up. So let's go back to here, and you can see that because I was trying to connect the two but they weren't close together, you couldn't auto route it. So that was a mistake. So I should align this up. There we go. Line that up first. Now if I go over here to section view, I should be able to connect these two together now. And there you go. So you're at, what is it, like 10 foot something? 10 foot, we'll make this at like 10 foot 6. Whoops, 10 foot 6. And this should be at 9 feet. And if you look at the section, you can see a nice clean 45-degree transition between the two. Let's say you want to just move this bottom section. Well, of course you can wiggle that up and down independently. But if you want to move the entire cable tray assembly and bring it down like a foot, you can tab on it multiple times. You can see that it selects more and more of the cable tray as you tab. So if you were just to hover over one, press tab, 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 and then click. Now you have the entire cable tray selected. You can move that down or up by like a foot or two. There you go. So if you look at it in plan view, you can see that I can select just one piece, but if I hit tab, it selects more and more of the entire run. So if you want to do a vertical run on a cable tray, generally draw it in section view. And here, we'll do that real quick. So let's say over here on the left, I want to go straight up to the 3rd floor. So instead of using my keyboard, click on cable trays, and then right here, just pick that, drag it straight up, and I can even continue up over like that. So there's that, and then I can even tee off of here for this floor. But you'll notice that on vertical runs, when you tee off right in the middle, it doesn't create an actual like tee with a radius. It just kind of butts it up next to each other. This they don't have this transition piece up here. So here we can keep adding and get all crazy out of it if we wanted to. Go down, over. Oh, okay. So here you'll notice that it won't create this piece because there's not enough length over here to make this bend radius. So what you want to do is drag that down a little longer, then make that bend. And then you can bring this back up if you want to make that as small as possible. But the auto route won't make a bend if there's not enough like segments to continue that. Okay, so when you do these vertical runs, you'll see that this is actually referencing the level 1. So you're still referencing the 1st floor, and that's not exactly right. If you're on the 2nd floor, you should reference the 2nd floor. So go ahead and hit level 2, hit apply, and reset that to, we'll say 6 feet or something. Just that way when you tag it, it'll show the correct height above finished floor for that floor. If you were to tag like this piece over here, it still says level 1, so it's going to say 20 feet above floor, which is not right. So let's select this whole, whoops, there we go. Select that whole horizontal piece, and we can make this, oh, actually you got to do it one at a time. Yeah, that's one annoying thing about it, because these are separate instances. So if you select the cable tray, you can make the reference level 2, and then select all the fittings and make that level 2. So then now if you were to tag this with the height, it'll say the correct height. Okay, I think if you wanted to see the entire cable tray assembly in one shot in 3D view, do a section box, and might have to turn on cable tray. Yeah, turn on cable tray. And there we go. So there's your lovely cable tray in 3D space. Did I just manage to dodge that yeah, I managed to dodge that ductwork. But you see the advantage here. I can clearly see that I'm not going to be obstructed by the ductwork, though it's probably not ideal depending on how much space is above here. There you go. So I just changed it to be a little more realistic looking, and it looks like I've run into some ductwork up here. You can drop that down again, level 3, and we'll make that 9 feet. Whoops. 9 feet. Apply. And there we go. So sometimes what I do is that I'd actually make the cable tray thicker than what it actually is, because in the model you can't really put a clearance area above the cable tray, and sometimes somebody will come through with like a pipe or a ductwork and just like sit right on top of your cable tray. It makes it really hard for the contractor to install anything in there, because they have to kind of like duck under all that stuff to wiggle cables in, and sometimes there's not enough working space. I've had instances where somebody ran a ductwork parallel to my cable tray, and it was like 2 inches above the cable tray. So obviously you can tuck maybe like a small Ethernet cable in there, but there's no way you're getting a hand in there to be able to move the cables around or secure it. So instead of just showing a 4-inch cable tray, if I want like a 6-inch clearance, I'll actually go ahead and make this cable tray like 10 inches deep. So if I do, I think there's not a standard one, but 6 plus 4, 10 inches, and it'll look like that. So it'll show up as like a really fat cable tray, but instead of just showing just a 4-inch cable tray, I kind of include the 6 inches of clearance above it. That way, if we use a clash detection program, it'll create clashes with like ductworks or piping running through that space, and then you can say, hey, it's fine if they're just like nicking it a little, but if someone is sitting like right above it, then that'll bring it to your attention that this is kind of a problem. All right, so that's your rundown on cable trays. Hopefully it's not that hard if you play with it a little bit. Just make sure you set your fittings right, set your height correctly, and do your bends at a reasonable distance. Don't try to do like 4 bends within a foot of each other. It won't be able to auto route it. Make them a little further and you can bring them back so that you know what your minimum bend is. If you have any other questions, just leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a good one. Bye.